Hello there, Maverick traders. It is June 6, 2023. Hopefully everyone is enjoying their summer. I know summer weather is finally here where I'm at. Let's jump into what happened today. It was a pretty quiet day in the market. The market started out with lots of news overnight. Last night, the RBA raised rates unexpectedly, and the Australian dollar went up because of it. Unexpected, raised by 0.25%. And then in the morning, we got news out that the SEC filed a lawsuit against Coinbase for failing to register as a broker-dealer. That sent cryptos tumbling. However, the market had a huge reversal in crypto, and the cryptos had a beautiful day. And if you take a look at that, the crypto basket up about 4.5%, especially when you compare that to the little bit that the S&P and the VT made in gold and oil. The move was really in crypto today, and I really want to focus on that. If we take a look at what happened with the S&P, we had the clear breakout. As you can see here, we're not giving any ground back. We're at a +3 in equities, the most bullish we can be. In this kind of price action, we just had 2 big days last week. We've just spent the first 2 days of this week going sideways, gathering some steam. We think equities are still going to go higher. One of the reasons is that rates are acting very, very calm. This here is the US 10-year bond, and you can see we're at 3.68%. That's well below the 4% that we hit just a few months ago. The bond market is saying that, number one, there is no Fed rate hike coming next week. And number two, that the equity markets are pretty good. People aren't running for safety in bonds. People are wanting to run to equities. So another thing that is telling us we likely continue to move higher in equities. And here we have crypto. Take a look at this candle today. We had the big candle down last night, big candle today. So look, overall, when you take a look at 2 days ago where we were and where we are today, nothing really happened. If you take a look at where we are in this range, nothing really happened. We came down to the bottom, we bounced off of it. So look, yes, crypto's had a great day, great intraday reversal, and yes, we're ending the day with lots of momentum. We could move up a little bit more, but in the big picture, you can see we're not really off to the races yet. We're more sideways than anything in crypto. So crypto had a great day today. Bitcoin was the performer, 5.5%. Everything else up 4%. We've liked Litecoin over the last week or two as the only crypto that looked bullish. When we jump into the foreign currencies, what jumps out at us is that Aussie move. We liked both the Aussie and the CAD this week. Those were our 2 favorite currencies on the long side. And we liked yen and Swiss franc on the short side. Yen number 1, Swiss franc number 2. The one thing I do want to point out, though, is the European currencies have really started to degrade and starting to get weaker. This was not on my radar. I basically said this week I was not looking at the European currencies. We're starting to see the Euro currencies weakening much faster than everything else. Remember, the Euro currencies had a fantastic run in April and May. They could give some of those gains back. Take a look at that Kiwi. Kiwi should have run today. Kiwi should have been one of the strongest ones. It didn't. It tells us Kiwi is dead at the moment. No reason to mess around with Kiwi. So as I said earlier, we are at a +3. We are at the most bullish we can be in our equity market outlook. So we think that risk on currencies are going to do best. But I just said, watch out for that Kiwi. We don't like Kiwi, so we're really focusing on CAD and Aussie here going into the rest of the week. And speaking of going into the rest of the week, look at the schedule here. We have news on Aussie tonight, their GDP at 9:30 p.m., and then tomorrow morning we have the Bank of Canada rate statement. We expect both of these currencies to stay in play. They've been great trades so far this week, and we think they're going to continue to be great trades this week. And then you can see on Friday, we also have some news out of Canada, the Canadian Employment Report. But again, Friday is pretty far away. Let's just worry about the next 24 hours. So let's jump into these charts, and I'm really going to be focusing on the velocity score. What's moving right now? What can we trade right now or the next 24 hours? I want to start off with the cryptos. So I'm going here to Bitcoin. I am on a 4-hour chart. So not short term, but intermediate term. And here's the price action we've seen, mostly sideways, trading up and down, up and down. Okay, so we just had this huge fall and then a reversal. As I said, we're literally where we started before that SEC news came out. we take a look at Bitcoin, where's the momentum? Well, we just got a turn in the 13-period EMA. We just got a turn in the parabolic SAR, but our RSI is telling us, okay, it doesn't have the momentum right here, right now. I'm going to put Bitcoin at like a +1. It's mildly bullish in the short term, but when I take a look at this over a longer term, it's not in anywhere in a long-term chart that really gets me excited. And frankly, as you can see here, I'm all the way out here to a daily chart. It's actually looking like it wants to weaken more than strengthen over the longer term. So look, yes, short term, I think Bitcoin has some momentum. There's no question about it. But the momentum is not a part of a big trend. It's not part of a huge story. It's just a bounce. So for me, I cannot get excited with Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin Cash. Same thing. We're basically back to where we were when the news came out. But when I take a look at a daily chart, again, I'm not in any big part of a wave. We want to see big waves like these waves and these trends back here. These trends, this is where you can make a lot of money in these moves. We're just not there at the moment. So yes, Bitcoin Cash, it's got some short-term momentum, but it's not anywhere in the part of the wave pattern on a daily chart where we're seeing huge runs. This is Ethereum on a daily chart. You can see the same thing. Ultimately, this thing is going nowhere on a daily chart. We go down to a 4-hour chart. Okay, we've got a little bit of buy signals here, but I'm not touching these. There's nickels and dimes to be made. I get it. There's not dollars, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. It's just not where we are right now. Here is Litecoin. Now, Litecoin has been the one that's been moving. Take a look at this. We've liked it this whole time, and then it got hit on the news, and we're starting to bounce back. It's not a great signal here. There is no great signal. If we take a look at the daily chart, it's kind of messy as well. We don't really have a clear signal. So where cryptos had a great reversal today, it was a great reversal. The question is, does the reversal carry through? Does Bitcoin come out of this kind of downturn? Do we get some kind of movement where, possibly we get a break up above this trend line? That is possible, but it's not close. We're not close to that yet. Talk to me when we're up here at 28.4. Then I'll start to get excited. Well, 24 some resistance. Talk to me at 28.550, 28.6. I'll be more excited about going La Bitcoin up in these areas. Again, great bounce today, but for me, there's not enough of a wave to catch. This is just choppy movement. So let's jump into the Forex and see if we can find something here. Here we have the dollar. So the dollar, we're just trading between this range here, but we are starting to drift down. So we had this little bounce. We had a lower bounce than the prior bounce, which tells me we're starting to lose momentum. Bounce, bounce. Again, it's like a bouncy ball bouncing on a table. It bounces smaller every time and then falls off the edge. Look, I'm not super bearish dollar. I'm at a -1 on dollar. This is still a -1 chart. Let's see if we can find something that's falling harder right now. This here is the yen, and I really like how this one's looking. We have been in this sideways trend for a while. Every time it comes down to this, look at the kind of bounces it puts in. That is a good bounce there. That was a good bounce there. This bounce, lousy. That is a lousy bounce. I need to see this thing break, but I am definitely putting yen still as my #1 trade on the short side. Let's jump over to the Swiss franc because, as I said, yen is my #1 trade, but Swiss franc is right there. We have broken down into this lower level. We ran up. We hit up against this. It looks like we want to come back down to the bottom of this range. So Swiss franc for me is also a currency that we could trade on the short side. Euro has surprised me. I was more neutral Euro this week, and I said, hey, I'm not really looking at Euro whatsoever. And boy, look how much it's weakened. Just look how much it's weakened the last couple of days. We were up here at the start of the week, and now we've come all the way down. We are at a support point. But if we get a really lousy bounce, like we're getting with the yen, I could say absolutely short Euro. But right here, right now, Euro's at support. I need to see where the bounce goes. Take a look at yen. Yen, we were basically right there where euro is now. We've had this really lousy bounce over the last 2 days. For me, this yen trade is much more developed. And also the Swiss franc trade is a much more developed trade as well on the short side. Looking at pound, okay, we have had a big run. We've pulled back. Looks like we've lost about 50% of this rally. If you're a believer in Fibonacci, which I am, says, okay, if this thing is going to hold this run, it's got to hold right here. A 50% pullback can be an okay place to take a long. It looks okay on a daily chart. This is a daily chart. As you can see, very strong uptrend. Okay, if you want to take a look at pound and say, hey, I think we're going to get a bounce here, okay, I'm okay with that. But here's the problem. None of this is good price action. This isn't good price action. When you get a bounce, you want to see a bounce like this price action. Like this is good price action right here, where we get nice candles to the upside. We're just not getting that here at the moment. So I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to see if the pound can actually put together a decent bounce, maybe get up here to the 155.40 area. Again, this is the pound basket. So just show me that you want to go up. You're at support. I get it. Just show me that you want to bounce off it. Let's come on here to CAD. CAD was our favorite trade for the week. And look at this. It just looks great. Now, granted, it's been a slow mover. This is only, maybe 0.3, 0.4, 0.5%. But it's a really nice chart pattern. Higher highs, pull back, find support at prior resistance. There's nothing not to like about CAD here. So CAD long looks great. And then we got the news out of Australia. And we'd already kind of broken out. Take a look at this run. Okay, this is the best currency at the moment. We are up to about 75 here on an RSI. We've had a big run. This is where we have to just understand, okay, when things have a big run, they need to rest. I would love to see a base over the next 4, 8, 12, 24 hours to buy into. Like this was a really nice base to buy into. So I love the Aussie. It's just not ready to go right now. Look where CAD is. CAD is ready to go. CAD has backed off. CAD has gathered some momentum, and we're now starting to see all the bullish price action move higher. And the poor Kiwi, someone forgot to tell the Kiwi that they were invited to the party. This should have been a great day for Kiwi, but you can see the Kiwi's sick. So everything is pegged in the middle. It's right in a moving average. Moving average is flat. RSI is flat. There's no reason to think it's going to come alive. Now, look, it could, and we're going to see that in the chart. But right here, right now, it's not even on my radar. So if we take a look at how things stack up, this is how they stack up. We've got Aussie showing the most momentum, but we think it's a little overextended. We need to see a little bit of pullback. That CAD's looking great. And you can see Euro, Swiss franc, and yen. The euro has been the weakest, but the euro is at support. So I'm going to take a look at CAD Swiss franc, CAD yen as my trading pairs. So let's go ahead and take a look at those and see if we can find some good setup points. I'm going to take a look at my favorite first, CAD yen. CAD yen was my favorite trade of the week on Sunday, and it still is. I love this pullback. I love this price action. This has everything a chartist could want. Now look, that doesn't mean that this is guaranteed to be a good trade. This could fail easily. A lot of times you get these pullbacks, they fail. But when you play these consistently, time over time over time, you get more winners than losers. And that's all we're doing here. So this trade for me is ready to go. If you want to wait for this parabolic SAR to be hit up here at 104.45, fine. I think the trade is ready to go here. And I think you want to be below this 103.40 on a stop. That's going to be about an 80 pip stop. If you think, oh, Rob, that's too big of a stop for me, look, just take half a position. Take a half of a position here, and then another half of a position when it breaks out. And then you can move your stop up to a tighter level. I really like having loose stops when I enter a trade and then add to it and tighten it up. Because if it doesn't work right away, I'm really happy that I have less capital on the line. It's very comfortable to be in that situation. So CAD yen to me looks good to go right here, right now. CAD Swiss franc. Another one, it just looks really good. This is a great pullback, and frankly, to me, it looks a little bit better, a little bit more developed. We've broken out above our parabolic star. So again, anyone who's looking at this, say, okay, 67.73, that's where it is right now. Look, this isn't a huge fast runner, but as you can see here, there is some room to run here on CAD Swiss franc. So a little bit of resistance up here, but I don't see any reason why that couldn't be cleared out. So enter 67.74 is where it's at currently. And, maybe down here, 67.20. Down here, that's about a 0.7% stop on this one. And again, if that's a big stop for you, just take half a position. And when it goes up to like 68.87, take a little bit more and then move your stop up. Again, we love to pyramid into these things. Until the Aussie cools off a bit, backs off, or goes into base, I'm going to let that one chill out. But I think Aussie is going to end up to be the strongest currency of the week, followed by the CAD. Remember, Bank of Canada is tomorrow. So if you are playing CAD, be very aware that you have a major announcement in the next 24 hours. So be cautious. There can be a big movement. There can be slippage. Make sure you're trading the right way. Thanks for joining me. That is the currency recap. Goodbye, everybody.